This is Joan Jerkovich, your life coach, right here on News Radio 1150 KSAL. And I have some very interesting callers coming up today. I have a couple of men, one who wants to talk about the love that tore his heart up. And then another gentleman is coming on to talk about the wife who left him after 15 years of marriage with 3 children. And the real bombshell here is that she left him for a woman. So I want to talk to you first of all about men who come into relationship with the same emotions that we women do, yet they're different. We know that. That's not a surprise. But I want to talk about some reasons why men would withdraw emotionally in a relationship. And I wanted to go to a man to write about this and kind of give me some pointers on it. This was by Keith Artisanen, writing about why men withdraw emotionally. Yes, this does confuse us women. We get frustrated, we get pained when our men sometimes withdraw emotionally. But here are some of the most common reasons from this man who's writing to us about why they go inward, why they might draw back. Number one of the reasons he talked about is if you're in an argument with a man, there's an emotional intensity that just swirls around. And for them, it makes them very confused. It takes men more time to integrate and understand their emotions. And understanding emotions for men isn't something that happens spontaneously for them. In this article, he's telling us that men need space and time to figure out what is happening, both within their self and with the women they're trying to relate to. What's going on here? They're confused. It's too intense for them. Now, another thing he mentions, and this is something we've all heard about, is men have been discouraged by society from feeling emotional. They've been mocked or attacked or belittled anytime they show their emotions. We've heard all of these statements such as big boys don't cry, toughen up, guy, bite the bullet. With all these phrases that men have grown up with, it's no wonder they're total novices where it comes to recognizing, understanding, feeling their emotions. What has society taught these men to feel? They've taught them to be tough, to protect, to kill or defend their family. Violence and the expectation of violence mandates. It makes it necessary to have an absence of emotional sensitivity. It creates a void of emotion. And here's what I want to say to those women who are concerned about their men not showing emotion. We have created a double standard for them. We want them to be emotionally available, but yet they have to go out and maybe harm another human being or defend your family or our country. That's a double standard we're teaching our men. It makes sense that if these are the things they're being taught from the time they're boys, that they're going to have a hard time tapping into those intimate emotions the women in their lives are maybe looking for. But they want an intimate connection with women. They just don't know how to do it. With the societal lessons they've been taught, they have to sort through all the expectations, the pressures about emotions that for them are confusing and oftentimes contradictory. They are kind of like the child that's having to learn to walk for the first time. They're going to fall down. They're going to make blunders, and they're going to be blind as to how to listen and communicate with their emotions. This is just a skill set that they've never really had to do until they get into relationship, oftentimes with a woman. An intimate relationship will open up those intimate feelings. These guys are going to be newbies and they're going to make their mistakes because what if they learn to master with their emotions? They mastered suppressing them. They've mastered hiding their feelings behind a mask of stoicism. Or many of them have mastered turning off their emotions entirely. Now, women can help men open up to an emotional life that they've never experienced before, but just like any teacher knows, you can't mock the beginner or put them down or criticize them for their approach because it will stunt their learning, if not completely stop it, and we don't want them to withdraw or go inward. Because when a woman expresses anger to her man or puts him down, belittles or mocks him, he feels attacked. And when she demands him to be sensitive, he feels he's not doing it good enough. He's not good enough at sensitivity and emotions. So when he's met with this negativity, how does he respond? Go figure, with anger. Because anger is one of the few emotions accepted in men because they remember, go back, it's necessary for them to be tough, to protect, to kill and defend their family or country. Anger is a natural fallback for men. It's a natural defensive response. It's their go-to fallback emotion. But once they become angry, then we fall into some other issues because that sets up its own host of problems. Because when they treat their beloved like that, they're going to feel guilt. Let's say they're a good guy anyway. They're going to feel guilt, shame, inadequacy, failure, or fear. And inevitably, they're going to feel like they really hate the fact that they hurt their loved one. So, a man's natural response when they're hurt or confused is to withdraw, pull back. They're going to retreat to their cave. Their cave might be a physical space or a mental space or even silence. But the cave is an essential healing tool for the manly mind. It allows them to sit back and integrate the experience, kind of think about what happened here and see if they can come to some understanding so that they can know how to better respond in the future. Because think about it, it's going to take time for a man to feel comfortable feeling these new emotions. He's retraining and reframing the deeply ingrained messages society has given him from day one. Yet, as the women who love these men, we can be of help. What can we do? What we can do is that we can bring to the relationship our own emotional stability, our own understanding of our emotions. We need to bring to the relationship a fact that we know ourselves, we know our nature. We want to give him a place that feels secure in expressing and unveiling his emotional sensibilities. If you don't bring emotional strength as a woman to the relationship, the woman who's insecure with her emotions will see the man who withdraws as a threat and denigrate him, and that's the one who will go on the attack and set up this whole roller coaster of anger and rebuttal and defensiveness. That is the opposite of supportive behavior, because when a man bears his soul, he is made so vulnerable, he needs a place that's safe. He needs to be able to trust. He needs to know that his missteps will not be criticized, will not be met with anger, and he needs to feel that safety, that gentle understanding and compassion that women are so good at. Be nurturing, accepting, and patient with your man who's only trying to learn how to express himself emotionally and stand up to what society has taught him. It takes courage for a man to do just that. So be his safe place to fall and support him as he gets back up to try all over again. And stay tuned to listen to my 2 male callers who've been heartbroken in love, and that will tell you something about the emotional component men have. That's coming up here on the Joan Jerkovich Show on News Radio 1150 KSAL.